not to steal thunder from your extravaganza, but how I told you tomorrow we're gonna have a concert for Ceci for her birthday.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to the other guy, and we're trying to decide who's gonna open and close it. Because right now he's like put out a whole new album and like hit singles and everything, and I'm like, technically, if we're looking at status wise, I should be your opener and you should be the closer.
Ooh,
and
flexing them muscles. I see.
Well, I mean, not really. It's more like anti-flexing, right? Because I'm telling him he should be the. No, I'm sorry. I mean, he should be the closer, not the opener, because he's the main attraction.
Oh, I misunderstood.
No, I spoke wrong. No, you're right. And no, but yeah. So what he does, he does this really cool thing where whenever he releases an album, he does a whole quote like he will dress up in 3 different outfits and he'll play each part and sing each part and put it like all taught together. Yeah, he'll put together and to do a whole concert. And so since we're talking about it, he's like, watch, I'm gonna sing a cuck you and just actually play that instead of performing. But then in the middle of it, I'm just gonna scream Natalie, and because it was kind of a joke. The other night I was playing and we were talking about like sad songs or some shit, and randomly I was just like Natalie, like, and so now ever since I did that, he's just loved it and just ran with it.
Oh my god, that's great.
Fucking spite me. Yeah, it's great, dude. So good, dude. It's so good, bro.
Nice, dude. Well, hey, actually, that's a as funny as that is, that's a great way to start, man. Because I have been wanting to talk about music with you, bro. If you're,
I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, let's talk about what happened with you and Natalie.
Yeah, let's talk about your last breakup, dude.
My last breakup shit.
Let's talk about that one specifically. Yeah, definitely. Let's really dig into that. You know. No,
I'm not gonna lie. You kind of sound like an informant right now, bro.
I'm over here taking notes. All right. Well, now that we got you here, welcome everybody to our next segment. It's a podcast. We're starting off. We're kicking off a podcast. I'm calling it StringManSays.
Ooh, StringManSays.
Yeah, these names just come so easily when you have a stupid name like StringManPlays.
That's great, dude. That's a banger.
So we're kicking it off. This is going to be the first episode of the podcast, and of course, we could not start the podcast without my friend, my brother in arms, Fabian Sir Darth III. Welcome.
Hello.
So you said you're doing a concert tomorrow. Let me hear it. Let me hear about it.
Yeah. So tomorrow, a mutual friend of ours, Granger Nerd on Twitch, in real life her name's Ceci, just turned 28 on June 2nd, and while she was in one of my streams, while I was playing with another fellow named That One Dustin, she said she would like a concert stream as a joke. But I was like, well, you know what? Dustin hasn't done a concert, like an actual live performing in front of a concert, in a few years. I haven't done one of those in like a good year either now. But I was like, hey, Dustin, we should do it. And he said, sure. And so tomorrow around 5, doors open at 5 p.m. PST, but the show doesn't start until about 5:30. And this is going to be, where can we find this? That's what we're still talking about. I think it's going to depend on who closes. That one, like, we'll probably just do what we're doing right now is one person will be live on kind of Discord and the other one will just screen share their part, and then the other person will switch off. Nice. I think I gotta be honest. I think I'd rather have him be a closer, but he does make up a good point that it's like, well, she's kind of your friend, you know, like she's just kind of more your friend, and you know, it's your event. But the other part of me is like, yeah, but you're kind of better musician wise right now, so why not let's just let you do it. But I don't know. We'll see. So either way, it starts tomorrow at 5. The man's incredible. The man is a machine. He puts out great music. He, like I said, he just put out He put out an album called Letters from Tomorrow, which has a hit single called Sundress, which I completely love. I've been seeing that. I've been seeing people posting about it. Yeah, it's great, dude. Like, honestly, it's honestly one of those songs that I feel like should be like in, like, you know how here in the actual valley, there's 104.1 New Ground is what it's called on Sunday nights, or like homegrown. Oh, like yeah, they do a lot of like local stuff, right? And honestly, it feels like it belongs in like that category to get more exposure. But that's cool. So we'll be doing that. Right on, man. Hope it goes well. Man, I miss 104.1, the good old days. I haven't honestly listened to the radio in a long time. Honestly, like, it's kind of see, I don't want to say inconvenient, but it kind of is, right? Because like you have to hear all the ads and everything, and they kind of play one song, and then like it's like 10 hours of ads, and they play one mediocre song you've already heard a million times, and then it goes again.
Yeah, it's definitely fallen by the wayside compared to all of the other ways that people can easily access music, especially when it comes to ads. I mean, if you go on the radio these days, the advertisements you hear, they go on for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. I mean, they go on for ages, especially with television, but I mean, definitely on the radio as well. It's very interesting to see how it's become much more convenient to just stream your own music, because then you can pick your own songs, you can pick your own vibes, because 9 times out of 10, you know, like you put on the radio, you know, there's always a chance that it's not gonna the songs that are playing are just like, man, I don't really want to listen to this right now.
Well, not just that too, but like, do you remember that one time after we watched the Super Bowl, they were waiting for the next show or whatever, they played that like fucking half an hour ad of that one guy with 12 cars and there's a lot to sell?
Dude. It was you oh my god, for reals, it was straight up like 30 uninterrupted minutes of a man advertising cars on his lot. It was incredible. It was.
He only had like the actual lot itself was small.
It was a small lot too.
And I remember one of them, you could see the bumper was falling off and the fucking oil was already dripping while he was filming it, bro.
Oh my god,
man,
it was one of those. It's one of those moments, you know, from that like old John Mulaney story of like talking about how they played like What's New Pussycat like 21 times on a jukebox. It's like that. It just gets funnier as it keeps going. They don't stop. There's no bit. Like, they just keep going. Every time they finish advertising a truck, they just go to the next one uninterrupted. No breaks, no nothing. He just goes straight to the next one, and there's just something that just gets increasingly funnier as it just keeps going. I don't know why. That was the most delightful waste of 30 minutes that I've ever made.
Because it was just funnier because like each car got more and more outrageous.
Yeah.
Because it just kept getting worse. And then at some point he was on a horse. Like, for some reason he just brought in the fucking horse and was on it.
Yeah.
And he had all his kids like driving the cars, and you could tell they were miserable.
Yeah, they just didn't want to be there. I mean, it's always the way it goes, you know what I mean? Like when like the parents like drag their kids into something of just like, okay, dad, all right, let's go do that. Mm-hmm. But like, you know, the dad's having the time of his life. He's like riding on the side of like a big ass F-150 of just like, look at this car. He must have been delighted to see his 35-minute uninterrupted advertisement on TV.
Probably goes to Food for Less. He's like, hey, did you guys see the ad after the game? Yeah, Philip, we saw it. I was expecting to watch Lost. The rerun of Lost.
The ad was longer than the game, bro. Cut into the halftime show and everything.
So how do you want to proceed forward?
Well,
the tangents.
You know what? I just want to ask you about music. I'm gonna be honest. I had a better segue into this under the impression that I was going to be able to actually do the violin performance that I wanted to do.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. Like, technical issues always strike at the worst possible time, but you know, we're here, we're back up and running. At this point, we're so far behind that I didn't want to cut into the time that that you agreed to be here for. So you know, I'd rather just make the executive decision. You know, we'll shelve it for another stream. There's going to be more streams, so I mean, it's going to be like, it was like 3 songs.
Yeah,
anyways.
well, I mean, and also congratulations. And I told you too. Well, congratulations, you completely fucking blew your water, blew out the water out of your goal.
Sorry, I blew my what?
Shut up, dude. Dog. No, hang on. Again, not to hijack, but there's this clip I want to show you that I think you'll get a hoot out of it. Okay. And it just happened the other day, and gosh, dude, I think it's just a perfect clip.
Are you gonna? Can you send it to me? I'll put it on stream.
Yeah. I was gonna say, give me a second. It's one of the ones where I'm aware what happens after I say it, and it's just worse.
Oh, every time.
You guys always catch me on that shit, bro.
Catch you lacking, dude. That's how it goes.
You do. I was actually looking at my Mr. Clips. Yeah. Just because I was in stream and some people were talking about clips. I was looking at them, and there's so many of you just clipping where I say like, "Oh, I'm on top. I'm gonna beat him off." Where it's like I'm talking about killing him on Fortnite, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm like, bro,
the number of times that's happened. I don't know, dude. You just walk into it. I don't know what to tell you.
Nah. This one's kind of bad, and this is when we were talking to Ceci about the concert, actually, but she was leaving. But I don't know.
Okay, hang on a sec.
I was like watching this one.
Oh, you know what? I gotta minimize you anyway, so we'll pull this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
It should probably come through all right. Full screen this. Whoa, League of Legends.
Remember, kids, stay in school.
Stay in, kids. Don't do drugs. Stay. No.
What?
Oh.
No.
Yeah, just wait. It gets worse.
No.
Whoa, Nico.
Oh. Don't tell me it gets worse. Don't tell me. Jesus. That is, I'll tell you what, that's a grade A flub. That's up there, man. That's up there. You don't see many other you don't see many flubs that go that hard.
I just like how I acknowledge what I said like instantly, and I'm like, oh no.
You're like, oh damn it. The moment you see it.
There goes my whole career.
I mean, hey, that comes with the territory, man. The number of times I've walked into something like that, I've just got lucky that people haven't clipped those stupid things.
Dog, I cannot catch a break.
Wow. Woof.
You guys always catch me.
Catch you lacking, bro. That's how it goes.
But yeah, though, congratulations that you were able to completely surpass your goals, dude. I told you.
Yeah, that was a surprise, to say the least. That was entirely unexpected. To
no one but you.
Listen, man, like we talked about this, dude. Like, for those in chat, I'm gonna say for context, I'm gonna give context here. Me and Fabian, we had a conversation. Was it last night?
Well, like multiple, but like no, it was
the other night.
It was like Wednesday midday.
Yeah.
No, it was midday because I was at work.
Yeah. Fabian messaged me. He says, "Hey, I want to talk to you about the stream. Just to make sure. Fabian's always looking out. He's a real one. He's always checking in with people, and he says, hey man, I just want to make sure, you're going in this with like realistic expectations, like he's telling me like he's seen it in the past that he's seen people go in like expecting to make, I'm gonna make boku bills, like super retarded amount of money, and then like if they don't make as much as they were hoping to, it kind of puts a damper on things and they kind of get upset about it. And I was upfront with him. I said, listen man, like I'm not expecting to make a dime off of this. Like even if this thing bombs like entirely, if nobody donates, I don't make a single cent off of this, I am still excited to do this 12-hour stream just because of the things that we get to do on this stream. That just so I can like this podcast here with you. I'm glad to be able to do this. I'm excited. Even if I walk out not a penny richer from this stream, I will consider it fully a victory knowing that I was able to set this goal and be able to execute on it and be able to put it together and bring forth what you see here today. Sure, it's janky. Sure, it lacks a little bit of polish, technical issues up and down. And and of course, I couldn't have done it without Emily. Absolutely the rock star that she is.
Big shout out to Emily. Yeah.
Absolutely. Huge shout out to Emily. But it's I was aware of what I was getting into, and I guess you can call it hedging your bets. I was, although I was, going in, fully asking for money. I wasn't. I was also keeping in mind that there's a very real possibility that I don't make anything out of it, and I'm not being unrealistic about that. And I appreciate you for checking in on that for me. I do. I mean, it shows you're looking out, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Again, like how you said, it's just like, a couple weeks ago where I saw a friend just like crash and burn in the middle of her stream. And I was like, let's talk to Adrian real quick. Let's just see how he's doing.
Was that day?
No, it wasn't that day. It's just that like that thought came to my mind because like I had seen on my phone notification that the person went live. And I was like, she had a horrible night. Nah, dude, like her breakdown was bad. Like it was bad.
That is unfortunate. Well, I mean, whoever this person is, I hope she is doing better, and I hope that she finds the success that she's looking for.
Yeah,
I wish 100%. Her the best, or at least just I wish her well. Silent Leafeon says GG on the goals. Thank you, friend.
Yeah, GG's, bro. Like I'm saying, congratulations. Again, I think you were the only one that I maybe Emily too, but I think you were the only one that thought you weren't going to get money. I knew you were going to get somewhere near 1,000, maybe not like over it, but that's why when we talked, I said like, hey, like I kind of hope your goal isn't 3,000 or like 4,000, like how some people have like crazy goals. But I was like, I already knew you were going to get close to at least a K. Because it's like you have some dedicated people. I already knew myself I was going to give you about 100. So I was like, I know from me he's going to get his first tier. But it's like I already knew kind of like maybe like your other people were. And then, yeah, they all came. Look at that.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I really do. And I am incredibly grateful for everybody who came out to support us, honestly.
Absolutely, dude.
I really am.
We're here for you, and we're here to see you grow, because I think I can speak for everybody. You really do impact lives, man. You really do have this charm about you that I have been fortunate enough to spend a good 8-10 years. Well, like 8 years? We're almost on a decade, almost going, I think.
Yeah, man. What was that, 2014?
No, well, because we went to college the fall of 13, so that means about almost 10 years. About almost 10 years, I've had the fortune of knowing you, getting to become really good friends with you, getting to do a lot of things with you, and still a decade later, here we are still trucking. That I can speak for myself. And just when we were in college, it's like you have a way of
subscribe, so I gotta write her down.
Ah, yes. Sorry, you were saying.
You just have a way of really impacting people's lives, and I think it shows fully how even right now you got 17 active people watching. You have Zenny with 20, Leafy with 18. You had our boy Ghoulish come in and drop 10 too. And then Rena,
Yeah,
a lot of people.
Everybody really did come out, and I'm really grateful for it because they didn't have to. They really didn't have to, and I'm genuinely appreciative for it. It's not often that I genuinely do ask for money, so I really do appreciate you guys. And I do again want to reiterate that. All of this money is going directly back into it. This is a fund that is set aside. Like, not a penny of this is going to be spent on anything else. It's going straight into any expenses that would go into just making this content. This podcast included. Yagi, welcome. Thank you so much
says,
for the
to
sub.
be honest, I tried to give 100, but the dono was down. Yeah, bro. Again, I genuinely think you were the only one who thought you weren't going to get anything. The rest of us, as soon as you announced it, we're probably looking at our bank account, seeing how much we would give. I honestly would have given more, but I checked my bank account and it was no bueno.
I mean, listen, man, let's be reasonable here, man. Like, I'm not. Please, if there's financial strain, this goes to everybody, by the way. If there's any sort of financial strain that comes with this kind of thing, feel free to just, like, you don't have to donate. There's no requirement. There's none. Like, just stopping by,
yes, you do.
dropping a link, dropping a. Well, he may say it, but I'm going to say this. You don't have to. You don't have to. I appreciate it. This is the one day that I will ask, but you don't have to. Just stopping by, saying hi, showing your support. I appreciate it.
He's humble.
This is about to be a short podcast, my guy.
No, did I send you that meme of there's a guy in a car talking and he has his grandpa and he's like, yeah, with my grandpa, and the other guy's like, fuck your grandpa, and he's like, Paul, you're on the car speaker, and he's quiet. He's like, well, I shouldn't be. That's me, bro.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my god, you're that friend.
Yeah, no, really.
Just like, I make no excuse for my actions.
It's like at this point you should be aware to not put me on speaker.
That's on you. You put me on speaker, that's on you.
Well, I mean, like, okay, let's be honest. In the whole time of our friendship, right? Like, not just like that, but how many times have we called or whatever, and my opening statement is the most randomest fucking story or situation or problem that you've ever heard, that it's like, what? Like,
yeah, bro. We start the calls and you just dive into, like, the current thing that's going on. He's like, bro, I'm in the bathroom right now. My butt cheeks are stuck in the toilet. I am stuck. I am waiting for the ambulance to show up. I've called my manager. He's not coming. I don't know what's going on. I'm just sitting here, bro. Anyways, how are you? Like, this is the conversations that happen every time we do a call. Like, some shit like that happens.
I'm telling you, dude, my life is a story, bro. I could write a whole novel on it.
Yeah, bro. Main character, dog, right there, waiting for the memoirs.
What was I gonna say? So going back to that, as I was saying, to try to move this forward, we've known each other about 10 years, and you and I met because at that point in time, we had the common goal of trying to be the best musicians that we could be.
Absolutely. We had this shared goal. We met on the bus, on the city bus. By sheer chance, we were heading to the same class. So we were coming out of the same city, going to the next city over, a couple cities over, actually, a couple towns over.
Say, yeah.
And just so happened that we were going to the same class at the same time. And that bus route is quickly how we became friends, and finding out, of course, that we have these shared interests. And that quickly blossomed into both a friendship and a working relationship as well.
We actually met because of David, though, because David actually introduced us on the bus. 'Cause at that point in time, I was still driving David whenever I could have my car, but I don't know if you remember, but the first car I would have, it would catch on fire randomly when I was driving. I'd have to stop in random like stores and ask for water to like fill up my radiator, but my radiator was cracked, so it would just overheat.
I remember that.
And so at some point, I just had to get it like fixed, and so I'd go take the TCAT with David, and then that's how you and I ended up meeting. Was through him, because you were already talking to him, because I think he was already trying to get you to play like violin on his pieces, or trying to see like people he could get to play on his choral pieces he was writing.
I don't think so. I don't think we had reached that point yet, but I do remember that. I remember I got to know a lot of people one day because the bus broke down and I was offering rides to people who were going to the same class. I remember that was like the main for me anyways, from my perspective, like that was the main point of bonding of like, okay, we're all friends now. We were riding to the school, we were riding the bus. It goes between towns again. And in between towns, it's all orchards and back roads and stuff like that. And one day, the bus that we're riding just breaks down, like in these back roads. And it breaks down one day, and it just so happens to be like less than a mile away from where my dad worked. And so I call him up. I said, hey, Dad, the bus we're on broke down. We're trying to get to class. If we wait for the next one, we're going to be late. Is there any way I can borrow the car? And he's just like, yeah, that's fine. So he came over, let me borrow the car. We all hopped in and we all rode to class. And that's from my perspective, that's how I was just like, okay, these guys are all cool. Cause we were all just kind of like BSing and stuff on the way over.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know what I feel bad for? Like completely not off topic, but on topic. You remember Lazaro? Was that his name? The horn player?
Yeah. Dude who looked like Markiplier.
Yeah. So there was one time he had asked me for a ride because like we were late on the TCAT. We both got to the TCAT late, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a ride?" And I was like, "Sure." But I remember he was sick, and bless him, he held his cough the whole time there. And I was like, "How come you weren't talking?" Because I'm not trying to cough, dude. And I'm like, "Oh shit, my bad, bro. I'm sorry." And I was like, "You could cough, just look away." But no, I just remember that.
He was a real one, man. He was a good dude. I always liked hanging out with him. I hope he's doing well wherever he is.
He actually, I think he just graduated, I think, or is graduating.
Oh, good for him. For him. I'm glad to hear it, man. Like that dude worked real hard for what he was trying to do.
Yeah, he's really stuck with it.
Good for him, man.
Which I'm happy for him. Yeah,
he deserves it. So, Fabian, my question to you: looking back on your journey, through music, having gotten to play music both online and in school, through high school, going all the way through college and after college, just in life, on Twitch. What are some lessons that you would say that you've learned that you would say are important to your school of thought when it comes to music and performance and I guess just performing in general?
The first thing off the top of my head, before we get to performing, is the discipline you have to have. Because I gotta be honest, I really don't practice anymore. Like, I just show up to where I need to. I'm usually there 15 minutes early, and I'll do like a little bit of scale training or a little bit of finger movements or whatever. But I'm genuinely not practicing anymore. If I'm playing outside of church or outside of a gig, it's because I'm either writing a song already or I'm just bored and I'm just killing time. But it's not really practicing anymore. But in college, I don't know if you remember, 90% of the time you would find me in the practice room playing some cover of Mumford & Sons or writing a song or genuinely like practicing scales. And like that was for about what? I was in college at COS for what, 4 years? Yeah, because from 13 to 17 is when I dropped out. So about 3-4 years, it was nothing but that. Like I was just in the practice rooms, or if not, we would be practicing, or we'd be trying to figure out something or XYZ. That it's like, because I mean, I don't know about you anymore, how much you're still involved in the music world, but because at the church or whatever, or even now that I went back to sing with John, a lot of people ask how do you get good at this or how do you do that? And it's like genuinely like you have to practice, like maybe not forever, because unless if your goal is to become like like fake savant where you just like are so good that it looks like you naturally born with it. You kind of really have to have a foundation of, I think, of good 3-4 years. I mean, it's the same thing kind of with you, right? Because of when you were younger at the mariachi school in high school, that you had those years of like it being drilled in your formation. That's why now it's like maybe you can't go and play your the songs you played in your recitals right away, but like your kind of basic understanding of the instrument's still there, and your basic understanding of tone and how to play it, how to do your vibrato is there. But it's just not like you can't go play like a piece sight read and play it magically. Of course not. But it's it's there, and I think a lot of people don't realize that it's like you do have to have like that block, I think, in your life of when you have like dedicated your life to it. Because I don't remember his name, but do you remember the small piano major? Well, he actually played with you for a song. The one that played at you, the piano major that had glasses.
With glasses, piano major. Are you talking about the dude that would always be like playing that like tablet game that was like super good at it?
All he did play with you for one recital.
I'm trying to remember. Do you know what? You don't happen to know what piece it was, do you?
No, oh gosh, no. I'm not that knowledgeable in classical music. No, but
then I have no idea.
But Shamal would like always praise him because he would play, and he would, because I'd be there the same time he is. Except by the time I was sitting there playing a mobile game or waiting for you guys to come, he would literally be there for 6 hours, like just practicing piano, and it was incredible.
I think I know who you're talking about. I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah, no, I don't remember his name for the life of me anymore. But like I remember like it shows that, but it's like I don't know. It's the same thing, kind of like I know that Mr. Seward said it too, that he really only practiced piano in college, and he was asked the rest of his life, but he could still play the chords, right? Whenever we were in class, he could still play the chords and like the semi melody, and he never probably practiced it. So it's like I feel like when you're in music, whatever instrument you have to have, I think, like the 3-4. It's the same thing kind of with working out, that they say it's like you have to have like the first 2-3 years just nothing but dedication to it, and then later on is where you could take like the kind of breaks in between the kind of things you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very fortunate that although I didn't graduate, I did get that time to do that, because today it's like I don't even have a keyboard at home, but like I'm learning how to play the organ right now, and
really?
So it's like, yeah, and so it's like even though I haven't practiced it in a long time, I'm able to, because I did for so long, at least keep up with the melody. Now, can I play every accompaniment part? Obviously, gosh, no. Like obviously, like that'll be something I have to practice like the week prior. Yeah, 100%. It's like the kind of discipline of it. As for performance, I gotta be honest. Now, while I would be nervous performing was never really that hard for me. It was something that I feel like it was almost something that like I looked forward to. Now, of course, it would be nerve wracking, right? Like still to this day, as I'm thinking tomorrow I'm gonna perform, I'm like, shit, like what am I gonna wear? What am I gonna do? Like how am I gonna look? Like that. But the aspect of performing itself, like I don't know, dude. I've always had the kind of blessing, I think, of just being able to perform like through the nerves. Now, that being said, I know especially earlier on in kind of our relationship in music, like I would be speeding up like a son of a gun. Like I would not keep. Hey, yo, Yagi with the $50 tip, bro.
Wow, thank you so much, Yagi, and Nico. She's been dropping a lot of bits along the way.
Biddies, bro.
Thank you so much, both of you. I'm going to take a moment just to say that, yes, that violin stream is happening. I was actually going to play a couple of songs earlier, but unfortunately, due to technical issues, we had to, unfortunately, put that on the shelf for the day. But that is coming. Don't you worry. I'm still going to play those songs in a future stream, and then we're going to see, and then we're going to have a full violin concert stream. Nothing but that. But yes, sorry. What were you saying, Darth?
No, but like when you're saying like, well, what have I learned in performing? I think it's easier if you accept the fear, because the thing is, it's like do you ever watch Two Step of a Violin? I'm pretty sure you have like occasionally. Yeah, we all have.
They're funny dudes.
I was watching a video of theirs talking. They were reacting to conductors having meltdowns or like conductors like going off on the musicians. And there was one guy that they were recording audio for the musical Broadway piece Rent. Like I haven't watched it, but Rent.
Okay.
The play, and apparently they were on take like 138. Which is like obviously not good, right? Because if it's take 138, yeah, and it's because of the singer. But you could see the singer look like he's about to crap his pants because he doesn't want to mess up. Poor guy. But they were saying, and I agree, it's so much worse recording because either A, your mistake is set in stone forever, or B, you have to redo it. Whereas live, if you make a mistake, it just makes you a human being, Like, I don't think there was one aria or recital I did where it was perfect, where I didn't miss a note or hiccup or fumble or, slide up a note or whatever. But it's like, I think accepting that fear that like if something happens, it's okay.
There's an odd phenomenon that I've noticed when it comes to music performance, both either live or recorded. When it comes to performing live, you're right in saying that it's human. People go to live performances to see this person live, and to say to give a perfect performance, it wouldn't really be live. You got to live if you're live. This is sounding cheesy, but there's that element of humanity in it. That comes with it. Mistakes. There's embellishments. You get to take liberties with it when it comes to that kind of thing. When it comes to recorded media, there's something about the microphone and the camera that really brings out imperfections. It makes them very noticeable when you're recording, either on a microphone or in front of a camera. I don't know what it is, but it really draws attention to it. And this is become even more of an issue when it comes to a lot of like modern recording industries, just kind of focusing on the perfectionism of it. If you look at there's a lot of documentaries out there that talk about like the behind the scenes when it comes to recording studios and films and stuff. When it comes to musical numbers, and you'll see them talk about how it takes a huge amount of takes to get something that they want to stick with, and B, it takes a lot of work in post production to make it even better than it already is. People talk a lot about auto tune and stuff, when it being noticeable and stuff, but most of the popular songs that you see on the radio these days, that you hear on the radio these days, most of them are very heavily produced and altered in that way. There's a lot of not necessarily auto tune in the way that you would think it, but there is pitch correction going on, and this reinforcement of the idea of perfection really does make it difficult for genuine performances and honest performances when it comes to being live. It feels like it takes away from it when you spend too much time in that hemisphere of things.
I just kind of want to read what something Ghoulish said. He says, I always felt more frustration making mistakes in recording, mostly because I have control, but live expects some mistakes are different in performances.
Absolutely. Yes.
But to kind of piggyback off that, whenever I record a song, I'm not going to lie, I've never understood the concept of like, let's play something 40 times and then like the 30th one's a perfect one. It's like, I understand, like, yes, you can have like 3 good takes and then, cut them up and put it. But for me, it's like, whenever I record music, honestly, if it came out enough to where it's like how I play it live, and if it sounded good or I sang good, I'm done. I honestly really like the concept of one and done. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's like I can't stand it, because then I feel like you kind of get too lost in it. In that, right? Because then you're right. Because then you start to hear, oh well, crap. My kind of S's are really coming out here. How about I just retry it? And then it's like you start hearing more of it and more of it and more of it. And then actually, Ghoulish has actually been there for a couple of my streams where I've actually recorded a song, and like all I have to say too, where I have to stop because I've listened to the song so many times that at this point my ears burn out, and I have no idea if I'm actually hearing the mistake or if I'm just or not hearing it, vice versa. That's why whenever I get the chance to record with people, and they're like, all right, well, let's actually record the CP, I try my best to make it a concept album as if I was performing live to you, instead of it being like a studio song that was recorded perfectly, so that way we can get away with the like embellishes and things like that and not have to worry too much about it because it'll be like live from XYZ. That's why the one I just put out on Instagram is called live from, COVID to Twitch. So that way it's like, it's like, hey, like it's kind of, like live performances instead of like a studio thing. Because for me, it's like, I have a very hard time with that, with the sense of like trying to seek that perfection, because to me it's like I feel like the perfect will always be live, right? Because it's like a good live performance, because that's the person expressing it and playing it and in it and probably played 4 songs before it and already sweaty and going with the adrenaline. It's like that's when it's gonna be perfect, not when they played it for 40 times and then it's like they just got the right and like. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, I think one thing I do envy about you is like, especially right now, as you're adding yourself more to your clips on TikTok. I'm pretty sure you've probably done like a lot of takes on those. It probably wasn't just one and done. That but I see it though, and I see the work you do, and like it looks really good. Like it looks good, and I envy that, because then I look at the skits I make and they're ass, because I just do it one and done and I have no script and I just make it up on the spot and go with it. But for me, it's like that's more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Like it's more enjoyable, and I think it's more in a way. Now, I'm not saying yours isn't, but to myself, it feels more genuine than like sitting down for myself and trying to edit perfectly. I think that's why I have such a problem with stop motioning, because like that has to be perfect. That has to be the exact right angle and right thing. If not, it's going to look choppy and blocky, and then that's when it gets ugly, and then that's when you got to take your time.
Mm-hmm. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's a certain authenticity to it when it comes to that, and honestly, that's something that people look for these days. When it comes to the internet, everybody's posturing and everybody's trying to put up fronts and say, hey, this is my cool life, this is my cool thing, and stuff like that. Authenticity is really something to be appreciated. So that's definitely you definitely see that, man. Like when it comes to Sir Darth III, what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Like it's there's no fronts. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, it's Darth. It's Darth. Take a look. It's Darth. That's him.
For better or for worse?
Look at him. Look at that mustache. Sheesh. Yeah.
But you guys are both super cool. No, I was gonna say I think even when we did do music together, and while we were both playing folk or death folk, whatever the heck we were playing.
Death folk. I missed out on that one.
Well, no, it's kind of like there, because the thing is, like, we were always fast, right? Because I would always get excited and I'd always push the tempo really fast, so it would just sound like death metal, but folk. But even then, it's like your style of fiddling did feel a lot differenter than what I would have thought in mind, and like it was super cool. And then even now where we are, like how Yagi's saying, it's like the content you create and the content I create is completely different, right? It's completely. That's why, like, I do kind of find it funny, because I have 2 videos out, well, 3 on my YouTube. One edited by you, the Spanish one, and another one of me putting compilations. And you can even see there are differences in kind of editing, mm-hmm. and like they're just both good. I'm not gonna say like, oh, yours is better or mine's better. It's like, but like it's kind of cool seeing that. Like it's just great seeing that when we're doing it,
Yeah,
and that it comes out looking good or enjoyable or funny or XYZ, and it's nice.
Yeah,
it is nice to see that.
If you're bringing up your channel, I mean, like you could also see, if you look at the videos that you're putting up, I mean, like the ones that I've seen that are getting like the real traction are the ones where you're having like honest reviews of movies after watching them, just in your car, just talking with them, just honest conversations about like, hey, we just watched this movie. These are our honest thoughts about it, and those are the ones that people are really coming forward to. So like, there again, it's the authenticity that people gravitate towards. Like that's something that you can't fake. Literally, it's authenticity.
It literally blows my mind, because the one that comes to mind is for John Wick 2. We had a two-parter because like it was like a 2-hour review. Me and my brother were there for like 2 hours talking about it. But yeah, I remember I went to sleep one night. It was like at 20, and then the next morning it was like 140. And I was like, damn, why is everybody watching part 2 and not part 1?
There you go.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
that is a good question.
No, it's great. Yeah. But yeah, no. But then at the flip side, when you look at your TikToks, you know, like they're great. And they're really well done, and they do get good traction, you know? I think the one, now, I know that you like really don't do this content anymore. You don't do the content anymore, but the one you did of Casino Royale, where it says, I think the caption was...
Just that meme?
Yeah, and that one blew up. But that's because that was your humor, and you put that and took it out, and it was just great. Like it's just great, and it shows. Like I think you have a couple other ones that also kind of took off, not as big as that one, but like took off, and they were great because they're funny, or your editing style is just so appeasing. Because it's weird, because like it isn't like the Fiverr memes, but it's pretty inside that genre of like, you know, the kind of $5 Fiverr meme thing.
Definitely, and it's meme
really
heavy.
Great. Yeah, and it's great. It's fantastic. Like the one of you, me, and. Yeah, was actually really funny, you know, where you know you kind of made the animation of the actual dog's leg blow up or whatever. Like that was funny.
That's still my favorite. I'm still bummed that people didn't watch that one, but I'm just like, honestly, I'm proud of it. I love that one.
Yeah, I was, but you know what? That's what they always say, right? They say the actual video you work hard on is the one that will never blow up, but the one that you just put out, like just because you had to put something out, is the one that blows up.
It's like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm proud of both the shitty ones and the ones that took a lot of work. So I'm happy with it either way. I saw Zeddy says in the chat real quick. He said he deals with both when it comes to perfection. He deals with both when it comes to the podcast that he does. So he understands the ideas when it comes to like perfectionism in recording. He understands both completely. And I feel that. Yeah. I imagine you see it the most, especially when it comes to like live recording. I mean, Zenya's Arms, he does. He does a Pokemon podcast. It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a live,
which are actually really good too. I gotta be honest. I don't ever comment on his streams because I don't really like know them as well as, you know, obviously like you. So it's like, but I'll lurk and watch, and it's super cool, dude. It's a super cool setup.
It's super cool.
But what I was gonna say, so now I have a question for you.
Okay.
How have you felt then? Because our beginnings started in music, well, of our friendship, not our beginnings as with we lasses, but you know, but like when we met as young men going to the world, we started off on that same goal, and then life happened, and it kind of divided you away from that. It kind of divided you away from that being your initial goal to where you are now, that you have found that you really enjoy the creating aspect of entertainment, whether it be editing, you know, pieces, whatever, for people, or whether it be, you know, creating content, whether it be finding content to create. And then I'm pretty sure you probably watch things now and think, how could you maybe turn it into something? So it's like, so how for you has that change felt? And is there anything that you still kind of miss about music?
I mean, there's definitely things that I do miss about music, but there's also some things that I don't. Part of the thing that got me to slowly start tapering away from music was just kind of like the last couple of experiences that I had in the industry before I moved up to Sacramento. I think I've told you this story about the first time that I got to perform with the local symphony in our county. It was a goal that I had set for myself when I first started going to school there. I was working under, I was studying under a very wonderful woman, Darth. You know her, the woman who was teaching me, absolutely incredible, phenomenal. She has seen her share of success in the industry, and she got to, you know, perform with the local symphony. And they got the thing that got me into it was that she performed with the symphony performed with a band that I was a huge fan of. They got to perform and they got to work with these people that I was a huge fan of. And I said, I want to do that. And so I started working at it. You know, I spent a long time, you know, went to school, studied and all that good stuff. But it was the semester before I was about to leave I've already made plans. I've already told everybody. I said, yeah, after this semester, I'm moving up to Sacramento, like all this stuff, all sorts of reasons as to why it was happening. And, the idea was that hopefully I would, continue school once I got up there. But the experiences that I had, Ghoulish says the industry, I probably should specify, it wasn't the industry. It was just kind of personal experiences with myself and my relationship with performing music. Basically, long story short, I scored an audition with this symphony, which was, again, the one goal that I had set for myself that I wanted to do before I finished college. And that was the goal. That was the milestone that I wanted to hit. I had worked hard for like 2+ years to eventually, get good enough at the violin to actually go and do that. And so I get the audition, they give me the music and they say, okay, this is what you're going to do. And I make a plan with my teacher. I say, cool, I'm going to practice this music over the summer. In August, when we come back for the semester, the audition's going to happen. We'll touch base. She'll polish some things off, help me polish some things off with the music. And then we'll just go to the audition. I go and I make a plan and I go and I practice for the summer. And I was very diligent about it. I was working pretty hard, make sure I had all this stuff down. Mm-hmm. And we come back after the end of summer, the semester starts, and I go and and we meet with her again. And she says, all right, cool. Show me what you got. We'll run you through all of the music that we have for the audition that they want you to play. And we'll be doing, and we'll polish things off and call it good. And I'm just like, cool. And I run through everything and I run through the music and she just looks at me and she says, how dare you? What? I was so confused. I was taken completely off guard. She says, how dare you? She was genuinely mad. She says, you had all summer to work on this music and this is what you bring me. We have 1 week before that audition and this is what you bring me. Are you serious? I'm like, what? I'll be honest. I thought I had a pretty good grasp on this. What? I was feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And she says, there is no way you're going into this audition with this music the way that you have it. And I was flabbergasted. I was just caught completely off guard. I was having a good day up until that moment. And she said, there is no way that you're going to go into this audition and play this music like this. And there is no way I'm going to let you do this. You are going to be laughed out of that audition. They will no longer wish to work with you. You're going to lose work in the industry if you go through with this like this, with the way that it is. And after I put in my good word to get you this audition, that's going to make me look bad too. How dare you? How dare you? I was speechless. I was speechless. And she said, here's what you're going to do. Here's what you're going to do. If you really want to do this, if you actually want to do that audition, you are going to go home. You are going to practice these pieces. You're going to practice your ass off. We're going to come back in 3 days. You have 3 days to get it together. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to touch base and I will decide if you're allowed to go to that audition or not. And I was in shock. But I mean, she knows what she is talking about. She knows what she is talking about. When it comes to her word is God. Like there is no questioning what she has to say. She knows what she is talking about. And when she says these things, she means it. And I'm just like, okay, I messed up. I need to get this together. I have 3 days to fix this. And so I went home. I was upset. I was angry. I was mad at myself for having bombed this because I was so close to getting this thing that I've been wanting for years. And I was about to lose it. And I was terrified. I was mad. I was just this big cocktail of emotions. And I got home and I talked to my parents. They noticed something was off. And I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to go to my room. This room that just coincidentally that I have that is soundproof. And I said, Mom, Dad, just a heads up. I'm going to go into my room. I told them what happened. And I told them, I'm going to go in my room. And for the next 3 days, I need you guys to just not bother me. Just leave me alone. I'm going to be working on this. I will make sure to take care of myself. I'm going to come out to eat and everything. But I'm going to be spending the next 3 days focusing on this and nothing else. And they said, okay. And that's what I did. For the next 72 hours, I did nothing but but just practice these 3 excerpts. They were excerpts. Each one of them was like 45 seconds to a minute tops. And I did nothing but practice these 3 things. I had them memorized by the end of it. I barely ate. I barely slept. I would practice until like maybe 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I would sleep for about 2 hours and then I would get up and keep practicing. And I kept doing that for 3 days straight. It was hell. It was hell on my body, my mental health, on my hands. Like I had bandages on my fingers just so I can keep practicing. And just so I could make sure that this was like right, as good as I could possibly get it. Cause this is the one shot that I had. Cause if I missed it, I'd be in Sacramento, and I missed it. And I spent those 3 days doing nothing but practicing. And then eventually the day comes, I go back to meet up with my teacher, and she is very stoic. She's not saying a word. I walk in, she says, okay, get set up, play the music. Straight face, no emotions. You can't read her, can't get a beat on her. Mm-hmm. And I said, without a word, all right, I set up. I play everything, top to bottom. She asked for a couple of scales to play, just to test for technique. I play those. And then once I'm done, she just sits there. Just 30 seconds to a minute. Longest minute of my life. Longest minute. I'm just sitting there just waiting. She's sitting there just thinking. And eventually she looks up and she says, okay. You can take that. Remember, that was okay. It still needs to be better, but you can take that to the audition at least. And I said, okay, thank you. And we went our separate ways, and I went straight home. And I slept for about 14 hours. I went home immediately, went to sleep. I slept for about 14 hours and woke up in the worst mental state of my life. Like, my body was a wreck. I felt like I got hit by a truck. All of the fatigue from everything that came before of those 72 hours just absolutely just hit me all at once. And I could like my motor skills were like bombing. I could barely move my arms and legs to like be able to walk. And I made the short-sighted decision to like drive to somebody's house to drop something off too. And then, like, even then, like, my body was still catching up to me. Like, I vomited in front of a friend's house, like in their front yard fully. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I ended up being so sick from this experience that I ended up not even being able to go to the fucking audition.
Damn.
Yep. I was bedridden. I couldn't get out. I was just in terrible condition. And yeah, I talked to them about what happened. They ended up throwing me a bone and letting me do one of like the smaller like children's concert series that they do and stuff, which was very nice of them. I mean, they were very nice people. But I kind of knew what the score was, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, okay, they're just being nice. You know, I never got to actually do the audition. And after that, it really did change my perception of my relationship with music and performance. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, kind of on that, like, do you think maybe she kind of sabotaged you a little bit? Because I'll say this, I have not seen her perform since a little bit after you've left Sacramento. Now, I know her in her personal life, like, they finally got a kid, right?
They have a kid now.
They finally got a kid and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I have, like, for instance, just this last April, I did the Duraflay with Mr. Sorber,
mm-hmm.
and the rest of the trio was there. They were there playing, and a couple of other musicians that I've seen around the time where you were, you know, that would play in like orchestras or featured people or whatever, you know. But she wasn't there, and there were like 4 violin parts, and I'm like, why isn't what's her face here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Especially since it was also a very religious piece that, like, you already know how she is, you know, with her
mm-hmm.
faith. And it's like, I was like, why isn't she here? And then it hit me like, I haven't seen them nor the trio perform in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if maybe I don't know, because like I know how cruel she can be too, you know, like because like she just knows how to hit your soul. Like it doesn't matter what she says, she knows how to make that shit hurt. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds, I don't know, because the thing is too, it's like, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, that just feels fishy. It just sounds odd.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily like deliberate sabotage. I mean, by this point, we had developed enough of a rapport that like she knew what to expect of me, and I didn't meet those expectations. And she was always very upfront when it came to this. Here's the thing. She's a sweetheart. We all know she's super sweet.
Yeah.
She's the nicest woman. But if you upset her, she is upset, and she will not, she's not the type to sugarcoat things. She will be very upfront about it, and make sure you know this in no uncertain terms. And that was the case. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, like, I've upset her before, you know what I mean? Be like, hey, what are you doing, man? Like, we've talked about this, you know, we were gonna, like, you were supposed to do this thing, and like, this is clearly not up to snuff, man. Like, come on, what's going on? I mean, this time was a little bit different because her own name was on the line as well.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I understand, you know, she got a personal stake in it as well. So I see where it's coming from. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I will say that conversations like that are very effective in lighting a fire in my ass to like do things. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Something about hard conversations like that really do help in at least me personally motivating me, because just knowing A, that I've upset someone, and B, I've disappointed them for something that is explicitly my fault, and I'm just like, okay, well, that's not happening again. And in all likelihood, she knows that, you know. And again, for better or worse, it did motivate me to practice again. There was no direction that she gave or anything to say, oh, you need to spend the next 72 hours doing nothing but practicing. She just says, you need to get your shit together. And I took that information and extrapolated on it in an unhealthy way, which I'm aware that one fell onto me. After a lot of like introspection after that, you know, like having time to think about it since then, I did kind of realize that like at the worst of it, some of my practice habits can be unhealthy. And that is part of what got me to kind of lean away from going back into music, because I feel like in all likelihood I might run into a situation where that might happen again, and I don't really want to allow myself to be in a situation like that, because I know, knowing me, I would fall back into that pitfall. And so that's why mostly what I do these days is just for fun. It's just for fun. This is the most, today was going to be the most that I played in a long time. And honestly, it was very enjoyable. I do miss playing music, but you know, sad traumatic experiences aside, I do still love playing music, and I do still love being able to perform with, you know, like the people who are really like up there, like the higher tiers of performers, and being able to be in that, you know, being in those performances, in those groups. There's something about getting into a flow state with groups like that just like, honestly, it's almost like transcendental, like the experience of being able to do that, which I do miss. That is something that I do miss about music.
Well, I think kind of like, I don't think it's traumatic what happened to you. I think honestly, that's what because here's the thing, and I know that you and I talked about it a lot, although like, as much as I wasn't, you would strive for perfection in how you play. And you would do amazing. Like your skill every time you played was like day and night compared to all the other music majors. And I know you're gonna be like, oh no, whatever. No, you could tell right away that you were the one that put time. And you were usually one of the few ones that didn't actually have music. All the instrumentalists. Like you would always kind of be like. Of course, there were some pieces probably that you did because they're just some are just too crazy to not have. But you would strive for that. But I gotta be honest, I think you made the right choice for you because that's not the lifestyle you wanted to have. But I think that's the lifestyle you need to have when you want to be a great musician. Because I know Brian himself, like, pushes himself to the extreme. Now, I think now in his older age, he of course doesn't, because obviously he's learned how, right? And how I said earlier, at some point when you play like incredible, like like pieces by like Debussy and all these big names, at some point it starts to become muscle memory, and at some point it starts to be so crazy. But for where we are, we're in our years, I'm 90% sure he probably have nights where he didn't sleep either.
Oh yeah,
because and I'm imagining Miss Bonner too, like shoot, what's his name? Pavarotti, or what is they would say? Like he wouldn't sing a song unless if he had 2 years to practice it, and then he would go perform it.
Pavarotti.
I think that's just the musician life. If you want to be a great musician, that it's like that's the life you have to have. And I think Rudafina really did tell you the way she did. Well, whoops, I'm not a doxer, but did tell you the way she did to do that to you. Because I'm 100% sure that's what she's done millions of times.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like I think you made the right choice because I don't think you wanted to do that. And and in a sense I did too. That's why I did drop out, because it's like I didn't want to learn how to say well, the thing that always killed me was like how to become a music major. Well, especially in choral, was like you had to learn like all the languages, right? Like, and not even all of them, but in just the pronunciation. And I couldn't fathom being in the classroom, learn how to say ich right, like going class after class and then spending hours to learn how to pronounce German perfectly, like or not perfectly, but enough that it just completely turned me off. And I was like, you know what? That's not for me.
Yeah, that's
just not for me. It's not what I want to do. And then we can talk about that for hours. But all right. So going off that, right? So you had all that. How do you feel now finding this new outlook to express your creativity at the same time? What we're finding in your incredible work, almost the same talent that you had in music and editing.
So I will say, I'll say I'm obsessed with it. When it comes to creating this stuff, being able to put these things together, being able to edit something and curate it into something that I can put in front of other people that they would enjoy. And I've truly been like, it's something that it really feels all encompassing, that like it comes back to that the old saying when it comes to like music. I mean, probably other things as well, but like, you just kind of like eat, sleep, and breathe the medium. And it comes to that same thing. I mean, I was having a conversation with Emily about this. Listen, full disclosure, I had to have a very earnest conversation with Emily. Emily, I'm sure you're listening. I love you so much. I had to have a very earnest conversation with Emily that, because here's the thing. This stream, this 12-hour stream that I've been working towards, I've been thinking about it nonstop for the past month. It has been all that I think about. It is all that I have done in my free time. And to the point that like me and Emily didn't necessarily spend as much time together as, she would have liked. And we did have to have an earnest conversation about that, just to reestablish saying, hey, like this is what's happening. And I'm glad that she's able to, she was able to, approach the subject, earnestly and honestly, to touch base so that I can, have that check and say, oh, I didn't realize I was spending so much time on this thing. And so, as much as I do love doing this thing that I do, I feel like there is still also that possibility of falling into the same pitfall, because I mean, listen, just last night I was fully sitting there. I'm just like, okay, there's still some stuff I have to do for the stream tomorrow. What if I just pull an all-nighter? What if I just pull an all-nighter, get everything together? I can just take the stream on, once the time comes. I can take a nap before the stream starts and we'll be good. It'll be fine. But no, again, Emily helped reassure me that it would be all right. And I just decided that I just get up early in the morning for it. So this is something that I truly enjoy doing. And it's something that I've I don't know, man, like the joy that I get out of doing all of this just for the sake of creating has been absolutely incredible. But I do know that, at least personally speaking, like that thing is still there. That possibility, that concept, it's still in there. Ghoulish says, I'd argue the toxicity comes from performance as a whole. One of my professors advised his students to actively sabotage others' auditions if you had the chance. Woof. That's definitely, you do definitely run into people who have that kind of outlook in that, and it's not great to see, What's that?
I feel like we didn't really have that much in the music department. At least all the people we had were all pretty supportive. I mean, there were like one or two people who I can think off the top of my head were probably cunts, but the rest of them, like, they were all probably like chill.
Thankfully,
we were a lot more supportive. Yeah. I was gonna say.
Thankfully, that was the case. Although, I mean, I have heard rumors that once you start getting into like the upper echelons, like it gets pretty cutthroat when it comes to that. Like the people will take advantage of any mistakes that you make in order to either make themselves look good or to bump you out as competition. And again, when it comes to that type of competitiveness, like that's the stuff that makes me balk when it comes to like moving forward on this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the possibility of like running into other people who would actively sabotage others in order to get ahead. Like me personally, like when I hear about that, like I just take a step back. I'd rather just like, hey, let them, they'll do their own thing. And I just want to mind my own business. And that definitely is a part of the industry, unfortunately, as well. Again, it seems like we could make a lot of references to the movie Whiplash at this point with all the stuff that we're talking about this, but it's a culture, man. The culture comes from both outside and inside, and we struggle with it as best we can. This is something, again, when it comes to the content that we create, is just something that is absolutely beloved to me. I love making this, but I mean, I feel it's important to still have that awareness that you still have to take care of yourself. It's very important. That goes out to everybody. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Eat some food.
My hardest thing is kind of what you deal with what not you, what you but what you had to deal with. What came? Let me phrase that better. What came up between you and Emily? How you were just focused on it. I feel like in the past, during my streaming career, I'll get so absorbed in it that like the only thing that takes me out of it is like church sometimes, and I guess obviously work, right? Because you have to go to work or whatever. But it's like whatever. I just see it as a nuance. But it's like the only other thing that would get me out of it is like church, and it's like I would have like weeks without talking to people. And they're like, hey, dude, like where are you? Where you been? And I'm like, oh, dude, sorry, I'm just like really focused on like the fucking perks in Dead by Daylight to try to figure out my next step in whatever XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's hard, huh? Because it's like when you're passionate, when you're like how you said, obsessed with something. It's kind of all you want to do. Yeah. And it's kind of hard not to.
It's the same thing, man. You just want to eat, sleep, and breathe it, Like you just want to be just wholly absorbed in it. And when it's something that you enjoy this much, if it's something that you're passionate about like that, it's hard to, or I guess it's easy to lose perspective when it comes to this kind of stuff, when you're just wholly absorbed in it, which is why it's always good to take a step back, look at the big picture, and just kind of like recalibrate for a moment. And I'm eternally grateful for Emily and her patience with allowing me the grace to make those recalibrations. But it's very important to just kind of be mindful of that whenever we can, because it's so easy. It's so easy to fall into it. And especially when it comes to like passion and stuff like that, if things don't go your way, then they really don't go your way. And you got to be careful about that, because if you're too invested in it and you have a downturn, then things just go south. Everything goes south with it. So I guess that's our cautionary tale to take care of yourselves, be careful, be mindful, and don't lose sight of the big picture. What do you think, bro? You seem deep in thought.
Well, it's because like I've been trying to think if there was ever a time where something like I didn't work out and it just like all went downhill. I think what's an important skill to learn or talent to learn, and I know you do this too, because sometimes like you have talked about it when you're editing and something goes wrong or didn't load or XYZ, but like I think an important thing to do besides cautionary tale, besides like like that, is learning how to go with the failure, so to speak.
Yeah, roll with the punches.
Yeah, I think that is more of that, because it's like, for instance, like let's say, which obviously it didn't, so we don't have to worry about it, like you surpassed it, but let's say today you didn't make any money, you would probably be like, I know you're saying it would be the goal, but you'd probably be bummed in a sense, right? Because you're like, well, crap, I said 12 hours, I was not expecting, but hoping to get, like a 1 or 2 thing, But it's like, but you were still prepared and ready to go on with what you were going to do. And I think that's important. I think you and I think Ghoulish and Zen and a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure Yagi for sure in her job, like, have that blessing of knowing when things go wrong, like we've had things go wrong. Like our actual first performance in at the Backstage Cabaret was horrible. It was like, your actual string unraveled. Sarah's fucking 12 strings were in 12 different like dimensions, and it's like I played the intro wrong. It was horrible. Like it was a train wreck. But then after that, we went and we were able to cope with it. And then like you and I, in turn from that, took that and learned what to do when I actually have a string pop, or we're out of tune because of lights keep fucking shining on our instruments that kill it. That it's like I think the best thing to always do is just try to be prepared. I don't know, because you all did it today too. I don't want to say like expect the worst and therefore it can't be worse or whatever. I don't want to give that message, but it's like just be okay to let it be its own thing.
Yeah, just be prepared. Just keep that in mind. Like I said, I the way I approach it is, I don't know. The best way I can describe it is just hedging my bets. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if things go well, then amazing. If not, then I still got a lot of really good things that I did on stream, some quality content that I can chop up for YouTube. And even more so, I learned something. I've learned a lot putting this thing together. And it's just kind of like keeping in mind the things that you've, the positives, I guess, keeping a positive outlook on it, and being mindful and grateful of the things that you did get out of this. Because I felt the same way. I will say there's been times that I have been bummed out from things that have gone south, namely on TikTok, personally.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just talked about one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. This happened the other day. In the weeks leading up to it, I made like a quick little Zelda TikTok. You know what I mean? Just kind of fucking around, just having fun. And that one actually did surprisingly well. People enjoyed it. I'm just like, cool, awesome. People seem to like that kind of format. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to promote the stream, so I'll make something else. Something interesting that I feel like people would enjoy. And I put that out, and it tanks completely. Wouldn't even show it to all my followers. And there was definitely that moment I'm just like, well, I mean, I wasn't expecting to exactly blow up, but damn, like that thing's sitting at 5 views, dog. It's been a day. And I was sitting there, and I had to take a moment to remind myself of just like, hey, you're happy with the way it came out. You're proud of this thing that you put together, right? I was like, yeah, I guess I am proud of that. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I like the video that I made. I'm proud of it. And even though it doesn't do well, I mean, I'm still proud of it. Even that one that we talked about with the dog blowing up in the leg. I'm proud of that one. It's got like 200 views tops. I'm proud of it. And it's again, important to keep in mind, because either, if you got the right mindset, you'll either win or you'll learn. There's no real losing if you got the right mindset.
I think that's the hardest thing that I think I had to learn, is learning how to roll with the punches, or learning how to be able to adapt in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I remember, especially sometimes when we would get asked to play at places or whatever, or like at the open mic, and they tell us, "Hey, you're gonna go on at 9," but it was like 9:30 or whatever. It's like that shit would irritate the fuck out of me. Like genuinely, it would irritate me because I'm like, bro, like there was an expectation, like I was expecting this, and I'm not saying like this today, but I'm just giving context of back then. And it's like it would just upset me. And I remember I wouldn't do my best because I was so upset that it wasn't how I planned it, like how it was in my head, how it should have gone, how it should have been, how it should have been that,
Yeah.
And it's something that I had to learn over the last 8-7 years is how to roll with it and to be okay with it. It's kind of like, that's why I didn't do a subathon this year for my actual birthday, because I just knew I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared, and I knew I wasn't going to be happy, and I knew it was going to flop. And so it was like, instead of just like being like, whatever, I'm just going to do whatever. It's like, I decided, like, let's not do that. Whereas like 2 years ago, I probably would have gone live, and I probably would have been really upset, and I probably would have been kind of bummed out, like, crap, I only had like one viewer or whatever. But yeah, that's something for sure that I've had to learn the hard way.
It's a difficult mindset to learn, and I don't really know how one can make themselves learn it, but I mean, it just comes from just I don't know. I mean, like if someone were to ask me, be like, how do you stay so positive? And I'm just like, I don't know. Just kind of do, I guess. I don't know.
So real quick, since we're gonna have to move on to your next segment soon here, we're gonna tell you. Let's just do some quick fire questions about you, right, and about your future, your channel, just so people get a hint of what you're gonna do.
Ooh, so turn it on me. Okay.
In the next 6 months, what's something that we can expect from you?
I mean, well, the answer is easy because it's on a list that's right below my channel. If you scroll down to my About Me page.
No, I'm saying on something else. It's like, what are we gonna expect from you now? Are we gonna like maybe see more of like your kind of IRL TikToks? Are we gonna see more editing meme TikToks? Or are we going to see more YouTube videos? Are we going to see bigger things? Are we going to see you and your friends getting together and doing like a actual virtual D&D like YouTube segment now, like, so what's something aside from what you already have said, like the concert and all that, what's something that we can expect from you after the success of this stream?
Damn, bro, you should be the one doing the interview. That's such a good question. God, I should ask you that question. Anyways, I would say, as like a broad statement, what to expect with the things that are coming. Expect more content with intent behind it. That's something that I'm just I've decided to choose to take a new approach with the content. Of course, it's begun with this stream. With the announcement ahead of time, promoting it, and advertising it, and getting it set up, and executing on it, setting up content with intent, making things with intent. I want to try to avoid, just going live and hoping something interesting happens, as opposed to setting up a stream for something interesting to happen. You know what I mean? We could just play, some video games and stuff, me, you, and the gang and stuff. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Or we can get everybody together for a game of Pico Park in which we know people are going to start yelling at each other. Stuff like that. Curated content, stuff with intent. A lot of the videos that I'm going to be making going forward are probably going to be more from scratch. I'm still going to be posting clips if anything interesting happens. I'll still be streaming and stuff. But just because of the way things are moving and changing, if I want to keep putting things out, they will have to be with intent. That's the school of thought that I want to have when approaching the near future and of course the long-term future as well. So that is my best answer for you, aside from giving any specific examples.
Well, that's a great answer. Thank you very much, String Man. Another question we have here from viewers is we know that that you and Emily have a very strong relationship, and she often revolves around your content as well. Can we expect more cooking type content on the way, or is this a one and done type thing? Or is it might be a maybe Patreon thing on the way?
Well, you know, Darth, if people do enjoy the content that we're putting out here, we do would like to elaborate on this and iterate upon it. It seems like the bread stream is really rising in popularity, and it seems like we really want to capitalize on that. If people want to see the bread, they want to see us get the bread, then by all means, we will give them what they want. If they want to eat cake, I say, let them eat cake.
Well, I really like what you did with that pun there. The rising, just it was just real nice. It's the least you can do as a.
We wanted bread.
He says. But
Oh fuck, that's hot. Oh fuck, that's hot. I put my hand right on the bottom. Look, the bread. It's done. I dropped the bit and everything. Like, look, the bread's done.
I'm like the delay. There it is. Now it is.
The bread. The bread.
It kind of looks like a turkey from that angle a little bit. It kind of looks like from the angle you had it when you first had it. It kind of looked like a baby turkey.
It kind of does. It's definitely coming from like the lighting I have here. I got warmer lighting, so it's bringing out the yellows.
Homie's about to eat some turkey. It wasn't no bread.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna chow down once we hit the break.
Eating your lunch.
Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll get to it. Anyway.
To close this off, because you got to take a break, and at 6 we're supposed to start the game show. So as I just saw today on a sub, I've been subbed to you 20 months as of today or yesterday or whenever it was. I've been subbed to you for 20 months. You were probably streaming 2 months before that, before you hit affiliate. Or no, was it the first month you got it? Well, okay, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. So it was probably around that time, right? Like almost 2 years. And with your first non-subathon, what's going through your mind right now? Or kind of what's something that you would like to say all these, because almost all these people have been here since the beginning-ish, Like, Zen, Yaugi, myself, Diana, of course, Emily, what's kind of going through your mind right now? Because obviously you still have another 6 hours to go, but like right now with the success of it in like the first hour, breaking every landmark of you on TikTok blowing up, well, not blowing up, but becoming more concrete and becoming great, and on YouTube, like going to more heights to where you're trying to make that change to try to make it your career almost, or if you could try to make it a side hustle / career, you would love to. What's going through your mind right now, pal? That you're kind of seeing it in a sense work, Maybe not great, but it's working, and you are going in those steps. So, like, what's going through your mind? Let us know.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I would say the thing that's going through my mind the most for this entire 6 hours that we've been here so far is just an incredible amount of gratitude. Honest to God, like I've been saying it this entire time already, but thank you to everybody who's been here, everybody who's been hanging out in the chat, Yagi, Zenny, Vitreous, Chill Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. Like I know we're doing our podcast thing, so I'm not really talking. I haven't had too many opportunities to really interact with chat, but I appreciate you guys, and it's an immeasurable. Oh gosh, sorry.
You're already choking up.
I'm joking up. It's just an immeasurable sense of gratitude for those who have come by, and honestly, even for those who've donated and supported the stream, absolutely. But those who have just come by just to be here, just to hang out and just interact, honestly, that means the world to me. That it's just an immense amount of gratitude. And I mean, secondly, of course, seeing the positive reaction that people have come through with this just makes me want to do more. Not fundraising streams per se, but make more things, again, with intent behind it, things that are planned, things that are, I say, going in with a concrete idea, with a plan to set something up that I think people will enjoy. That, I mean, seeing this, Again, not talking about the money, seeing the positive response and people seem to be enjoying this thing that we're doing, just reinforces the desire to keep doing it and elaborate on it, to iterate on it, to just keep making these things with, again, intent and with a plan behind it. So That's I mean, the thing that's going through my mind is what's next. That's just what's the next thing. I'm sitting here at 6 p.m. We're halfway through the 12-hour stream, and I'm already like back of my mind. I'm like, okay, what's the next thing that I'm going to do? That's the move. That's what I'm thinking right now. So I want to turn that question. I want to turn this question onto you now, Fabian. Yeah. So
What do I think? Well, what do I think about your last 2 years and your subathon?
no, bro. What do you think about your journey, man? You've been at you listen, dude. You're we all refer to you as the granddaddy of the streamers, man. Like you've gotten us all into it. You like me, Yagi, Zenny. Like one way or another, you have either directly or indirectly influenced so many people to either get into Twitch or to get into streaming or to get into some type of content creation and entertainment. Like you have had that influence on people, and it shows. Like after after all that you've done so far, like how are you feeling? Like what's going through your mind, you know? Like having done the streaming that you've done, having seen the highs and lows of your streaming career, like what's on your mind? What's next? What's going through your brain, man? Like what if you look back on it all, like what do you see? What do you think? What does Darth think of this?
I think first and foremost to just talk about the first part, because I know, like, you know, you, Havoc, Yaugi, Ellie, for a bit there, you know, Ivan, Taylor, and then on the other side, on my side, you know, Daz helping Sick Beats grow. I think it's been a great blessing to be like the kind of pioneer, so to speak, of our community. Not so much like that's the way. It's like I think it's been great to be like the kind of pioneer, the one that kind of like laid down the tracks for you guys. And I think it's been great because I can honestly say all of you guys, Yaugi, you, Ellie, like you guys have great streams. Like you guys have great streams. And honestly, you guys outshine me like every time. Like it's weird because you guys will rarely go live, but when you guys do, you guys get such like concrete, you know, just greatness out of it. And I think it's, for me, it feels very rewarding and great to see that it's like, you know, that whether I inspired you guys or whether I just, you know, opened the door and you guys were like, screw it, I'll do it. It's like it's been a huge blessing, and I'm grateful that I decided to take this step to kind of try to stream, to going from just doing it on Xbox to, you know, building, you know, massive Legos in 10 hours to doing sleeping streams, to creating skits, to writing songs, to, you know, to actually buying cosplays, right? To buying all these different costumes and creating these characters and these things, you know, it's been a heck of a ride. It's been great. I mean, like how you said, yeah, there've been highs and lows. I mean, for like the first 6 months of my Twitch career, I only had you and Ceci watching, right? It'd be Ceci for half of it. She'd fall asleep, and then because you actually worked overnight, then you would come in around the tail end. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, but that was it for a long time. And now it's like, you know, I have a pretty decent community. I've met a lot of great people. I mean, we've met a lot of great people because of it, you know? Like, he's not around that much anymore, but we met, you know, Macromancer. We met a lot of these cool people who we ended up becoming really cool with. And I am happy that I was able to do that, because then it was able to open up the doors for you guys, for you to do this today, to get that aid to be able to create more happiness, really, to create more happiness in the world, to make people happy. Like, again, like all these people here are here because of you and you know who you are as a person. And if I had any play in allowing you to be able to find that, then I am extremely happy. And I think I am glad I took all the punches, you know, because I'll be honest, I think out of all our career, because I think Ellie got affiliate in like 3 days. I think Yaugi did really well too. I think you, like, it took you maybe like a little bit. So it's like, so you guys already got the ability to do it. I'm the one that had to go from 0 to whatever, right? So I'm glad that I was able to take the shit and the punches and the fucking death threats and all that for you guys to be able to shine. I think it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been a hell of a ride. I think for me, I'm close to 3 years now. I think that.
I think so.
Yeah, because I know you started like not right away after I did, but like a good like half a year, I think.
Yeah, I was like on and off for a while. It was a while down the road after you had started that I actually like made the decision to deliberately start streaming.
I think much like what we did in college with music, I think it was whether it works out for me or not, I think it was one of the best things that I have done because it's been able to open up the door for a lot of people to do more things. Like still to this day, even on music side, I'm like, and I'm not trying to act like it's all the time, but I still get hit up by random people like, hey, did you still play music? I remember you from so-and-so, or hey, because like you and your band, did this, like we have this open mic here. Matt is starting his actual own open mic and doing his things. And I gotta be honest, I'm pretty, like, I know Matt was inspired by us for a lot of what we did. And so it's like, I think that it's been a very, very huge blessing to be able to see the seeds that I planted grow in a metaphoric sense. Because again, I'm not you guys, I'm not you that made this crazy thing. I'm not Yaugi that added huge knockers to her avatar. I'm not Ellie that had some weird sus drinking avatar, like that's you guys. You guys were able to create your worlds. But if it was because I planted a fucking tree sapling and that happened, then hey, man, you know what? I think it's been great. I am extremely happy. I am extremely happy for you that, you have been able to do this and that you create this content that we all love. And, I don't know. It's just joy. It's just joy. I mean, again, like a little bit of saltiness, because like you guys got the kind of easy stick of just getting an affiliate quickly. But besides that, it's great. It's great to see it, and then it's great to see the people that you guys inspire, because I know people get inspired by you with the videos that you do and whatnot. I know Kush, although he doesn't do it, loves your content, and is super like like. I don't want to say moved, but like intrigued with your content that he wants you to be the face of what he edits, and it's like it's super great to see that, and it's great, and I am excited to see where you guys go, because then along the way we've met up with people again, like Ghoulish. Like I honestly never thought we would have that much interactions besides hitting up on League of Legends or on Discord or on Hunter's Discord. But now look, like we're about to do a whole thing. He has offered a lot to work with me. I'm just lazy and don't work on my projects. But it's like I think streaming has been the best decision I've made because of the impact that you guys have done. And I think that's what makes me happiest and proudest. Because not because of me, because in all honesty, I am like the kind of grandpa just in the corner. Oh, well, look, the Darts live. Let's go see what he's doing. It's like, like that's basically my content right now. but you guys are doing incredible stuff. Earlier Yagi was saying she wants to create new emotes. Ellie always has a new fucking screen every time she goes live, and you always bring a great time. And now what you're saying with your choice of wanting to stream with intent, I'm excited to see where that's gonna go. I'm excited to see what you guys are gonna do, and I'm excited to see it's because I was gonna say something, but there's no reason to say it here. That's something for off stream. But it's I think you guys are gonna do amazing. And I appreciate the, I guess, credit that you guys give me. But in all honesty, I just opened the door, and it's great to see you do it. And Adrian, congratulations on 20 months affiliate. Because I subbed day one. I was there.
He's a founder.
I was there when the books were dropped. And so it's like, congratulations on 20 months affiliate. Congratulations on a great TikTok career to bring you to where you are, and congratulations on growing to becoming who you are. And also, and this is just complete between you and me. I'm also glad
You
that
mean the
eventually-
stream, mind you.
No, I know. But it's like I'm grateful that I came to terms with the changes that you made. Because I know for a long time I was still like, come on, bro, music, bro, music, you know? But like, I'm glad that I was able to see past that to let you blossom into the beautiful rose that you are today. And it's going to be great to see you become the giant bouquet of roses that you're going to become. And so congratulations, bro. And here's to the next 20 months of your amazing creativeness.
Thank you, sir. And I'm just gonna say real quick that thank you for planting those seeds. There is absolutely something to be said about building a community completely from scratch, from the ground up. That is not. We can all say that we didn't have as much of a trouble doing that because of the community that you have put together and your assistance that you gave us to help us get to that. Honestly, like if we had done it the same way that you had, who knows if any of us would have stuck with it. And so again, an enormous amount of thank yous for being the one to open the door, being the gateway drug for all of us for this Twitch experiment. That being said, it is about time that we wrap this up. Thank you so much, Sir Darth III, for joining me in this. Everybody, give Sir Darth III a follow. Again, he's a wonderful streamer. He has a concert coming up tomorrow with That One Dustin. It's going to be a truly delight. Follow him and his socials so to keep an eye out on where they will be streaming to be announced.
All right, then. I'll see you after the break for the game.
Yes, we're gonna take a short break while we get the next session set up. Don't go anywhere, or just stay nearby. Get some water, get some food, call a loved one.
Sounds good.
We'll be back soon. Don't go nowhere.
All right, bye-bye, guys.